Yeah.
We're bringing in Tom Green as well to hang with us because we don't want to have him waiting.
He's a hoarder. Tom Green's a hoarder.
I'm a hoarder. Yes,
yeah,
are
you a hoarder? So we're trying to get your help.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Pretty good. You know the show Hoarders?
You watch Hoarders?
Yeah, I've seen it briefly. Yeah, I've seen the stuff's piled up in their house. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah. My favorite one was
angering.
My favorite one was where they couldn't go upstairs because the feces were in the
bags of feces.
Bags of feces. Why would you keep that? Why would you not?
Why
would they want to keep the feces? What do they want to do with that?
I wasn't on that show.
Thank God, right?
Do you guys get to pick the shows you're on? We got a shitbag thrower.
No, I'm headed to a house right after this.
Are you?
In New York?
Can we go with you?
You'd have to talk to the powers that be on that one. I'm thinking no.
You're scared of us, right?
Yeah.
You're scared of us.
I'd walk right in. What are you doing?
Yeah, we would have bullhorns, right?
No, you wouldn't. If it was Nazi memorabilia, you'd go, where did you get that?
I don't
So
know.
they keep bags of why do they keep bags of feces, though? Why would they keep that? What's that? What are they going to do with that?
Well, I don't know that they're going to do anything with that. Typically what happens is that as the house starts to get hoarded.
Things
start to break down. Exactly. And so because in hoarding you have such difficulty processing and with organization/disorganization that they come up with sort of their own strategy of, oh, okay, I have to go. I mean, there was that one that
they're
we're
just
talking
crazy
about.
people then, right? They're just insane people?
Well, no, you missed
You're
the
just
first,
making fun of crazy people.
Yeah.
No,
it's like when
he's accurate, though.
It's like when you don't have the cleaning crew come by in The Sims.
Yeah.
Everything gets messy and they pee on the floor.
Are you mad at people like us that just can't have an open mind about this?
Absolutely not, because, my goal is to continue to promote awareness. And, as much as you guys will probably say no, I'm going to bet that I've, opened your mind up just a little bit by the time that I've left. And hopefully the viewers, too.
Actually, the whole thing with the coddling thing, I now have a better understanding because they have the only other thing they've had is their family yelling
Everybody's
at them
yelling at them.
constantly.
Everybody's done that.
So I'm not saying it's good. I think a good punch in the face, but I'm saying it's a different approach.
To get results, it's almost like I'm looking at it from a vengeful point of view. Like, why don't you go in there and deal with the anger I'm feeling watching them?
Yeah, because I'm putting myself in the situation. As I'm watching that, I'm like, how does the husband sit here and do this and not just like get a domestic abuse charge put on him? Because I would have to just smack someone in the head.
Well, going in and having people scream at one another and just vent their anger, I'm not saying that that's not helpful, but I think that there's a place and time for it.
Yeah.
And just screaming and yelling totally detracts from what we're trying to do in that moment. We're talking about the Hoarders show, right? In the big picture, they're coming in for therapy. I'm going to their house. We've got a little bit more time, kind of thing.
Just throw a bag of shit at them.
Rub their face in.
I don't know.
There's probably plenty of it around.
Stop keeping it around if you just every time you.
You should train them like you do a puppy.
That's the theory of
throw a bag of shit in their face every time you come over.
Doing that, and it's only going to make things worse.
Maybe I'll stop.
That's the reality.
Keeping these around. Keeping these handy.
How bad do they smell?
Not
the houses.
The jokes, so keep them.
Oh wow, they would.
The houses smell, right?
Have you ever puked?
No. The irony is what a lot of people don't know, and so now it's like in super public media here. I don't have any smelling senses. I had an accident.
Wow.
Perfect
for the gig that is.
Great gig then.
And that wasn't why they hired me.
You can wade through shit. You can do
but along those lines, so when you talk about the smell, and I'm saying it's bad, and you're saying, well, why is it bad if you can't smell? It's the fumes.
Is it a texture as well when you walk into a room?
Probably a weight to it.
You can taste it in your throat.
Can you taste food?
Oh yeah. Everybody asked me that. Yeah. No, I can taste just fine. But it's the fumes, and then what happens is when you start to stir it up.
Ooh.
It's magnified so much worse because everything is kind of settled. So you walk in, you've got one, and so we pretty much know once we stir it up, it's going to be worse.
What is? There's got to be something that gets to you. Like there was the guy who had the couple who saved their shit. I've seen a few people who do that. To me, the smell would be bad, but the insects would be the part for me that I couldn't deal with.
Roaches.
I've seen roach infesting that was beyond Like how bad are the bugs? What is your thing? Like, there's got to be one thing that you go like, this is the one I can't deal with.
Well, there was a commercial where you heard me say, this is probably the worst house I've ever been in.
Yeah.
And when you saw the house, actually the house wasn't so bad. What happened was I did the walkthrough, and this was not on camera, and I walked downstairs to the basement, and they had a dog in there, and there was the toilet was leaking through the bottom floor into the basement. So between the winters, between the dog that lived in there, between the mold, it just was this perfect storm. And I have never been so overwhelmed in my life. And the irony is that when I walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, do you smell this? They're like, what? I was like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, and so what happens is people get used to it as it builds up and they don't notice it.
It's like working in a dump or a slaughterhouse. I mean, you don't vomit every day. You get used to it.
Exactly.
Or this studio.
And along those lines, I mean, I don't think that people would typically look at me and think that, they would envision me in a hoarder house. But, it's kind of like a surgeon. When they open someone up and they're looking at things, that's just their job. That's just what they do. So when I go in, I'm there to do a job. And so that's why we're not so overwhelmed, because we expect this is what we're going to see. This is the reality of it.
And you don't get mad at them because you expect them to be like resistant. Like when you say, why are you holding that? Whereas I've never had to actually listen to it. I would want to just go throw it the fuck out. You're like, you expect them to go, well, it's important to me.
And the reality is why am I going to say that? Because if they could do it, they would do it. So telling them something that I already know that they can't do is sort of pointless. And of course, again, going back to everybody else has been telling them that too. So I've got to align with them in a place where, they feel like someone is on their side.
Do they see the house differently than other people? Like, do they actually see it differently than other people walking in?
Yeah.
They don't see a problem with walking through a little 1-foot pathway to a couch that's covered in crap.
Well, it depends. Do you remember, I wasn't on this one, but do you remember the one that had the lady that had all the cats?
Yeah.
And, you saw the cat's eyes were all, crusty and kind of glued shut by the infection. And she,
expected a Sarah McLachlan song to start playing.
Well,
donate some money.
I really want to be clear that, that I never see the show before it's aired. Never.
Really?
Yeah. So everything we're talking about is all stuff that the rest of you have seen. But I'm watching this going, these cats are healthy, and the one cat, the tabby or whatever it was, couldn't even open up its eyes. And it's denial. And I think any one of us, as long as we continue to deny a problem, we don't have to do anything about it. And so denial is kind of this defense, much probably like your family member, that if you just keep denying, then you don't have to do anything about it. And then the more that people come in and you're saying, throw the bag at them, do this,
It's very logical on Tom Green's
it's
part.
not going to go anywhere, and that's, as long as we can meet them in a place where, I do get it. I do understand.
Tom, you got a question?
It's kind of an odd problem that's maybe unique to this country, right? People that just have too much stuff.
It's
like,
true.
you look at, the problems in the world. There's people that are starving. They don't have anything. They don't have shoes. Yeah. And here the biggest problem is there's people on the shows. There's people that just got too much stuff. So much stuff that they can't even get rid of their, the bag of shit.
Are you
right?
saying they don't have hoarders in Somalia?
They probably don't.
Is that what you're
they don't
getting
have
at?
anything to hoard, probably.
They do have a show, Somalian hoarding.
Oh, they do?
But it's just like one horn is in
like
the
a
house.
toothpick.
And they're like, look at this mess.
Two
I'm
grapes.
holding on to it.
Yes. What are you doing? There's a stick in the house.
Or they hoard hands that they've chopped off in political disputes. Severed fingers.
Drawer full of clips.
So where?
You guys just can't resist, can
No, we
you?
can't.
We got to make it
You're
fun.
trying to contain it as much as possible.
You're bumming everyone out. We got to make it kind of fun.
Where is this crap hole you have to go to locally now?
Yeah, we want to go with you.
Like what state?
Shovel.
Is it Jersey, New York?
I can't say
Wow.
it.
You're scared of
Yeah,
us.
yeah, it's
Wow.
all,
Tom Green, you want to go to a hoarder's house today?
Yeah, what shithole are you hanging out at today?
No, we.
I love that you can say
Would you
shit
get in
on the
trouble
air.
if
I
we
love
came
that.
with you with megaphones, and while you went inside, we just booed loudly through the megaphone?
Well, needless to say, why I'm not telling you where I'm going,
Exactly.
because I don't doubt
Oh,
one
we'll
bit
find
you guys
you.
are
Yeah,
going to
we'll
have a
find
caravan
you.
right
It's almost
behind
like the
me.
mentality of like when you see homeless people with the shopping cart and they got everything in it, right? And they just keep their shopping cart. It's a schizophrenic kind of thing going
yeah.
on, right?
No,
They're
it's
just
not.
crazy people that have houses.
I haven't
They're
seen as
not
many of them.
schizophrenic, No.
I've seen a lot of
used
them in
to
the
as a
village.
kid.
I will take a picture of a homeless guy in my neighborhood who is truly a hoarder. The amount of stuff he has in one shopping cart.
Is it the
like
guy with
Tom-
the dreadlocks?
You've seen him.
Yeah, I know who he is. hoarders.
He can't even
White guy.
push this thing. He will move it a foot an hour.
But that's his house.
I can't believe I've never filmed this guy yet.
That's not hoarding. That's his house. It's like if everything that
Well,
you legitimately
he's hoarding
needed.
everything that he finds on the street, but he doesn't have a house to put it in.
Yeah.
I'll get video of this guy soon.
In a weird way, I understand hoarders, but on a much smaller. Like I collect things, but I'm kind of neat. But I do understand how that could have gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
Like I would collect baseball cards, and I would just go like, I have to have it, and there would be no logic behind.
And if somebody was to throw them away, you'd lose your mind.
I would just nervously tick.
Hold on, Jimmy. Let's go with that because this is we'll get back to the real shit. Like, you're not a hoarder. Wait, how can I explain this? It's not just being messy. You know what I mean? And smelly and dirty. Can't you be a hoarder and be very neat like Jimmy's talking about? Where all of a sudden your house is filled with really...
Like you neatly stack up your bags of shit.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
I want to see how many times I can say bags of shit.
I think it's degrees. You know, you guys remember Beer Can Hoarder?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't know beer can
Beer
hoarder.
Can Hoarder, he
I
had
a
over
beer can
60,000.
collection.
I think there was more than that beer cans. And, you know,
Yeah.
he was the collector. And, you know, those were not beer cans. I mean, one is, you know, on the show he says, you know, I definitely didn't drink these. I'm not even a drinker. That he bought them on eBay or wherever he got them. You know, as we're walking through the house, stepping on them, smashing them, and these are prized beer cans.
Yes,
And
it's
the reality is
prized beer
something
can.
kicks in to where you might say, you know what, I've got this collection. There's a system to it, and I'm going to stop here. Or, you know, seeing a tattered baseball card that isn't worth anything, that you don't buy it anyway just because it's a baseball card and it can go with a collection. There's more of a system. In this case, you know, people are talking about being collectors. When it's really hoarding, there's just kind of this sort of explosion of purchasing whatever fits, you know, whether it be Barbie dolls or crafts or whatever, and there's not as much of a system, and so what happens is it just infiltrates the whole area.
Is it common? How many of them are there?
Well, we think
How many
about
of these
3
hoarders are
million.
there?
Right around-
Millions?
3 million, they say.
3 million?
3
Oh,
million.
that's good for a few more seasons.
Yeah, you do. You are loaded up with enough hoarders. That's
3
for
million?
sure.
Really? No.
Oh, absolutely.
3 million of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
You don't have that in
Jobs.
Canada, Tom Green?
I don't know
No
if there's
hoarders?
3 million.
I'm sure there's some in
that's,
Canada.
that's one in that's 1 in 100 people.
It is incredible, and where they went from
Wasn't
in
it
the very
350
beginning.
million? 1 in 35, 1 in 350
About
people.
300 million.
In the very beginning, when Hoarders started, they were going everywhere trying to find people. And now it's thousands and thousands that are coming in, and they're just trying to ferret through and figure
Really?
out how to just tell these people sorry.
Those people that took that long to find their phones.
You ever get anyone who you think is maybe a fake hoarder, like someone's just sort of filling their house just to get on the show?
you know, there's
Shit in
Gonna happen.
bags.
Fake hoarders.
I'm going to start
there's
that
been
today.
times when you walk in, you kind of wonder, you know, what's happening here, but it's pretty rare because they really are
Fake hoarder
careful
would be
to
great.
ferret out, you know, really the people that can most benefit from these resources and these
Yeah, you're
services
not
that are
pathetic
offered.
enough. You're not pathetic enough. Leave.
We'll come back next year, and
Yeah.
you've got more
Work
crap
on
lying
it.
around.
She's wearing a wedding ring too. I can't stop looking at it. That is a rock on your finger. Are you married to a doctor?
I'm not.
Wow.
She made her own money.
Oh my
Jimmy.
God! No, but I'm saying she's married to.
2010.
Her husband does a good job. That is a rock.
Yeah, that is. Wow.
Wow.
I bet you don't wear that in the hoarder houses.
Actually,
Don't
you
want
They
to
know,
wouldn't
we're-
want it. It's not a comic book or a.
Yeah, but you lose it. You're never
Shoe.
finding it.
insurance.
Oh, there you go.
You should punch him in the face with that ring. Wake him up a little bit.
Well, hoarders,
Stop collecting their shit in bags, right, Tom
Mondays,
Green?
what is this? Mondays,
Shit
10
bag
p.m.,
hoarders.
9 Central. Shit bag. Hoarders on A&E.
They should have a
Dr.
spin-off.
Robin
Just call it shitbag hoarders.
Zazzio?
Just
Is that how you
focusing on
pronounce
those
it?
ones
Zazzio?
specifically.
Yeah.
And,
Focus on the shitbag.
I
Hoarders.
love this show. Love it. A lot of people are talking about it. And yeah, I think it's a.
We're
I think
talking
it's a
about
big
because
hit.
it's fun to watch.
I know it is.
I don't really care if
it's-
these people get help. I think it's great TV.
But it's good on a lot of levels because it's educational for some people if they want that. It's entertaining if you just want that. If you want like the freak show factor, it's kind of like watching family members yell at each other. It's kind of fun. And like I said, yeah, it's educational too. So
It's like watching Celebrity Rehab or any other show that it's like you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Everybody, our whole life for the last. How long has reality television like been really? For the last few years. So it's a chance to watch all of these things that every one of us has known existed for all
You know,
these
I
years.
think that's an excellent. I mean, we look at the Celebrity Rehab. I mean, that was genius. You know, I mean, you're